Hello friends, welcome back to the ASP.NET Core video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we are going to see the most important topic, that is dependency injection. I think you have heard this word dependency injection in ASP.NET MVC project. Okay, so the same thing is happening in the ASP.NET Core project too. But the more controlled way you can handle it, you can inject it into the different sections that we are going to see in this video tutorial practically. So this is Abhishek Bedre. Let's get started with the Visual Studio. So here I have already loaded the project that we are using in our previous video tutorials. Okay, for the each video I have uploaded the project on github.com/infologs, where you can download it. Also you can download the project from infologs.in, right? Okay, so here if you see, we have already created a simple service under the startup.cs, where I have configured app configuration class to read our app setting.json file. Okay, that is registered over here. Okay, but now the proper way of registering a service that we are going to see, and how we can inject it into the controllers, into the classes, into the constructors, into the methods, etc. Okay, that we are going to see in this video tutorial. So jumping to the infologs.in article. So here I have loaded the article already. Okay, so here you'll see some description about the framework services and application services. Okay, generally there are basically two types of services available in ASP.NET Core. The framework services which are a part of ASP.NET Core framework, such as an IApplicationBuilder, IHosting. Okay, the IHosting is now converted to the IHostingEnvironment and then the ILoggerFactory. Okay, so if you see our example, so we have already using the dependency injection over here, but these are the services designed by the system, or we can say by the framework. Okay, we just need to include it in our constructor. This is a constructor injection. So we have just included these interfaces in our constructor. So whenever this class initializes, the constructor get automatically initializes and provides the instance to access over the configuration as well as the hosting environment. Okay, so the same thing is also available for our custom classes as well. So okay, so okay, and the second is the application service. The service or custom type of classes which you as a programmer we have created for our application as per our requirements. Okay, so we have already seen the first section. Now we are focusing on the second section. Okay, so here this is the basic. Here in this article we have created a simple logger service which just puts the console.write line information. Okay, so let's do it a proper way with managing each and every class file. Okay, so here I'll just stick to here, so I don't need to do this. So first of all, I'll create a folder where my interfaces resides. So I'll name it interface, and the second folder where is that? Okay, add new folder. Let's say logger class. Okay, so here I'll add class interface. I'll name it ILog. Okay, so we'll majorly follow this example so we will get a clear idea about it. Actually the interface, it should not the name interface, I'll put it like this. Control KD. Okay, so we have a simple method, void, what is this method, info, right? So in the base of info we'll do it write log. Okay, now under the logger class, okay, so we'll create a class file and I'll name it my logger. Okay, so logger will extend from ILog, so need to import the namespace using my interface. Okay, and interface need to implement it, so implement interface. So here we'll put the console dot write line, this message is coming through dependency injection. Okay, so we have a structure ready. So now what we want to do, so we want to register this mylogger service, mylogger class as a service in our startup.cs class. So again I will go to startup.cs and under the configuration service section, here we'll register our service. Okay, but there is a two different way to register it. So if you see here, this is the way, two simple thing that service provides. Like simple, go for service.add and then new service descriptor which accepts type of, what is the type of, that is ILog. Let's import this. Okay, and what it should return, so it should return the new instance of mylogger. So mylogger again, that is available in another mylogger, right? So this way we can register a simple service. So now the service is registered, so I think some, okay, this is done and this is done. Okay, so clean, oh sorry, one is pending for the old. Okay, done. Let's build the project. Project build successfully, just go, it's building. It's taking a little bit, yeah, now it's completed. Okay, successfully built the project. Now if you remember, in our earlier videos we have created a default controller, okay, in which we have using that app setting configuration service, right? So here I'll create one more dependency injection. Okay, but before that let's discuss about understanding the service lifetime. Okay, so generally in built-in IoC container manages the different lifetime of a registered service type. So it automatically disposes service instance based on the specified lifetime. Okay, so by default we haven't provided any lifetime, right? So we have registered our this way, so it will automatically consider as a singleton. So if you go back to the startup.cs file and here, so we have service descriptor and the service lifetime. So the service lifetime that we have to provide, it's what is this? Yeah, it's scoped, singleton and transient. By default value is singleton, as you see the 0. Okay, but we need to understand what is singleton. Okay, the first question comes into the mind. So this is the important thing for registering the services. So singleton, that means IoC container will create and share a single instance of a service throughout the application's lifetime, right? So let's I wanted an instance of a logger which should initialize when my application starts, first time when my application starts, and it should be available throughout the application's lifetime. Okay, as soon as my application is running, that single object should be available. So it will not it should not create multiple instances of a logger class whenever a client requests for the service, right? So it checks whether it's a singleton, then it will create a just single instance and serve for all the requests, right? So that is the singleton. Transient, the IoC container will create a new instance of the specified service type every time you ask for it. Okay, so let's say I want to create a service like every time it should be provide a fresh instance of that class. Okay, so let's say I have a 10 users which is asking for addition of their numbers. Okay, so in that case I have to create a transient instance of my service which is provides them the addition number. So let's say 10 users are requesting for the addition with their appropriate numbers. So I have to create 10 instances which can calculate their input and provide them output. So in that case, if I create a singleton, what happens? So all the requests are coming into the same object. So there might be a chance to data sharing with each others, right? So you need to identify what kind of service you want to register in what kind of service lifetime. Okay, now and the scoped IoC container will create an instance of the specified service type once per request and will be shared in a single request. Okay, so let's say I am requesting for let's say scoped, let me think. Okay, got it. Let's say I want to insert data into the table. Okay, so I have created a post request. So as soon as I post the data, so I need a fresh instance of the SQL helper. Okay, that will allow me to insert the record into the tables. Okay, or some other manipulations on the by using that SQL helper object. Okay, that should be scoped. So each request, it will automatically create a new instance. Okay, remember thing, each request. Okay, so whenever my constructor, so let's say I am injecting that SQL helper on the constructor of a controller, when I request the post method, it will create a single instance, okay, for that whole controller level. So in that case, if I accessing some other methods in the same controller, so it will not create a new instance. Okay, it will serve the same instance which is already created, right? Or in the transient, it will create every time you request the SQL helper or use the SQL helper, it will try to create a new instance and provide you the that new instance. Okay, this is the difference between transient and scoped. Okay, majorly we are going to use the scope because we need to work on a scoped based. Look, let's say I'm working on a controller level, so it will allow me to generate a single instance for per request from the users, right? So by default it's a singleton, so it will create a single instance. Okay, and there are some different methods for the registration of the services. So you can directly there are some extension methods which are directly uses to register our methods. Okay, let's say we'll put it side by side so you can get an idea. So service lifetime dot singleton, because our logger service and logger service needs to just initialize a single once time. Okay, what is the problem here? Cannot convert from logger my logger to system.IServiceProvider object. What is the problem? Oops, so different type of my logger and then singleton. Okay, writing is different for this section, right? And the simple way, the other way is services dot add singleton ILog. Whenever I request for ILog, I need an instance of my logger. Okay, so both are the same. Okay, so let's go with the first one because I haven't used that. I am just using this kind of service registration, so it will tell me the easily this is the interface, this is the class. Okay, I'll also explain the benefits of this kind of stuff, so it will be okay. So now what we'll do, we'll inject the MyLogger service on our controller, right? So let's say here we have used the extension. Now constructor injections. I know that you already know about the constructor injection that we have did in previous examples. So here we need to just comma, then ILog, that is available in first web.interface, then log, okay. So here I'll create an field ILog of type sorry, it's not that way, it should be ILog log ILogger service, and that is I need to create a field of it, so I just put the ILog and log, right? So log can be accessed throughout the controller. Okay, field type ILog is less accessible. Okay, so where is the class MyLogger? This is the public class. ILogger, this is private interface. So we need to make it public. Now it should go away. Yes. Now we have a logger service ready. Now here what we are going to do is log dot write log. Okay, so currently we are not passing any parameter in that. So what we'll do, we'll clear the output window and right, so just run this application. So our application will running and I'll try to access this controller. Okay, there are two ways to access this controller. Okay, this is the get request, so you can just put it from the browser, or also you can go for the Postman or any third-party API tracker. So here I'll just go for the API slash default slash, I'm not writing a get because it automatically browser sends the get request to the server. So it should break here, or if the instance is not created, so let me put it a breakpoint over here as well. Yep. So F10. Okay, just put the F10 or F10. Why this is slow? Yeah. Okay, so we got the ILog service. So that is now accessible on the global level. So I'll just play it. Once we go to the log.write line, continue. So we got here. So I'll just go into the step, that is F11. We got this. Now here we are writing the console message. So I'll go to the output window. I'll clear all the stuff and then go here. Search. So I think it should return. It's build order. Oops. Other window. Okay, so the message should be here under the output window. Debug build order. Okay, let's select this. Yeah, got it. This message is coming through dependency injection, right? So let's make one more request. Request got and then play. Okay, so here the same instance is serving to the each request, right? So how do we get to know that same instance is working on this? So what I'll do is okay, let's do one thing. It's a dynamic thing. I don't know how correct is this, but let's try it. So what I'll do in my console logger, so here I'll create a public property integer count. Okay, and by default it set it to the 0. Okay, and as soon as the write logger calls, I'll access that count property and make it count plus 1. Okay, so did you get my point, what I'm trying to do? Let's say if we are getting the single instance of my logger class, so when it starts, the count is 0. Okay, and then we are accessing the write log method. So once I access the write log method, it will automatically increase that count by plus 1. So I am accessing it number one time, so it is count will be 1. Okay, so again my request is coming to the controller, so it should increase to number 2 if it is singleton, then only. Otherwise if it's not singleton, that means it is initializing a fresh way, so the count will set to 0. Okay, let's test it. It will be a fun to testing the ASP.NET Core base project right? So see, as a programmer, you should 100% sure how it's working. Then only you create a standard and proper way, proper application, right? So let's say F5. Okay, in the Visual Studio, I'll open up the output window. I'll clear it. We don't need a debug. We go for this. Also clear this. Oh God, one more thing that I need to check. So how do we get to know that? So each and every time, whenever the message, it should print the count as well. So we got to know that the instance is same, count is getting increased, and then we'll switch to the transient request. F5, so we don't know this breakpoint here. Okay, so again go to the output window, just go to the project, project, clear everything, and now go for API default. Okay, now I'm clicking on continue. Let's see the output window. It's showing 1. That's great. Our instance is initialized. Again, I'm not shutting down the application. Okay, keep in mind that again I'm requesting the door. Perfect, it's increasing. Again requesting, and again it's showing number 3. Okay, so if anyone wants to count the how many hits are coming to my project, so this is the best way to do it, right? So it will create a single instance when the application starts, and then gets increased whenever the new request is coming. Okay, now let's switch it to the different style. So we proved this is a singleton, so now we'll go for transient. So it should always provide the plus 1 whenever the new request is coming. Okay, so again go back to the Visual Studio, clear everything, API slash default. See, it's called 2 times. Number 1 for registering here, and number 2 when I called this. So every time I got the new instance. here the new instance, and here also a new instance. Okay, and that is third one, this scoped. Okay, so I'll just put it the scoped. Okay, so in this example, the singleton and scoped will give you the some confusion over here, because let me tell you first, show you first, then I can explain it. API default. Number one request successfully completed. Number second request from the same controller completed. Same controller. Okay, startup. Okay, we have set it the scoped. Okay, so according to this description, it will, whenever you put the new request on the fresh request, it will serve the fresh instance. So here I'll do 2 times log dot write log. So what happened in this case? So once I send a request, the controller, it will provide the fresh instance. Then it will go ahead and try to call the write log. It will count as 1, and again on the same instance it should go and call the write log, and then it should show the number 2. So this way we got to know that if we are accessing multiple times the write log method, so it is using the same instance, but as soon as you go for the fresh request, it will create a fresh instance of that service. So let's test it. So we are ready to go, and the browser will clear. This is also clear. API default, continue. 1 and 2. So now the instance is closed. Again I am requesting a new fresh. Again it's showing 1 and 2. Now instance again destroyed. Okay, this is the way how the transient, the scoped and singleton instances in service lifetime works. I hope you guys have understood it clearly, because there is a very thin line between the transient and the scoped one. Okay, so whenever you compare this transient and scoped, it will always return the same new instance, but on the conditions. Okay, so now coming back to the article, so let's we have done that. Okay, this kind of explanation is not possible in the articles, right? So we have to do it in video. So this is the way I have created a combination of articles and videos, so we can get the more value from it, right? So now next test, that is the action method injection. So currently we have seen the constructor injection, where we are including it in the constructor. Okay, so now let's say I want to use this service on a particular method only. In that case, I am not gonna register it on my class level, right? So in that case, I'll just, okay, for that we'll create a new service. So this will provide you the whoever downloading this example, they'll get a proper idea. So I'll put a comment here. Will create a single instance for the scoped service and use that instance. For calling second time, the same instance will be used for the scoped instance. Okay, so enable this method only for testing the scoped service, otherwise there is no need for this. Okay, so whoever downloading this application for the reference purpose, they'll get to know the differences between this. Okay, so now let's do one more thing. Now we want to do get request. What should I do for method? So what is available in article? Okay, so they are just using the ILog. Okay, let's do one thing. So I'll use the same HTTP get public string get. Okay, so, but I'll get a number, and then from service is ILog and the temp log, right? So there will be a different. Okay, get method. So here I will put a route attribute. The route will be get service, get service. So integer data. Now here underscore temp log dot write log and return nothing. So now the important question is, how do we call this method? So from the browser, okay, so our service is registered as a scoped, so we need to call it twice. So here I'll call it 2 times. Okay, and running this application. So now in this case we got 2 instances, one for the class level and one for the method level. What happened here? Okay, so I'll go to the application and this clear API default and 10. Oops. So what is the name of get service? Get service and the parameter is 10. ID equals 10. Okay, so here we got the message. Okay, but we didn't get the idea which one is calling from which one. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll create one more method which takes input from the user. So again here I'll put a void write log and a string data. I hope you guys are understanding the concept also. Okay, so which concept is this? Oops concept. Under the oops concept, it's a method overloading. I hope you guys have got the idea of it. Okay, so public void write log string data and the same. So I'll again create a separate property for count, prop integer for method injectn, method injection. Okay, so here I'll use plus plus, and console dot write line the message from method injection plus for method injection. Okay, so now I'm coming back to here. Instead of write log, we'll pass the method 1 and method 2, and also will include that string here. So just put it like this way. What is the data? Yeah, okay, the message from method method 1 injection, method 2 injection, and the count. Okay, now we get the clear idea which one is calling which one, who is calling which one. So oops, just clear this, my project, clear, and slash API default slash get service and ID equals to 10, and go for the service completed. Let's see the output. Only method 1, method 2 calling. Okay, that means we got the ILog service only. Okay, because I'm calling a second method. Okay, so okay, let's do a little bit more informative. Okay, so here I'm again using that log and writing the and getting the right log access. So what will be happen? I'm using the scoped one. Okay, so on the scoped one, if I got the first method calling, okay, and from there I'm also calling the second one. Okay, so make sure we should complete all this thing in a single request. If you go for the two requests, one for the get and one for the get service, then it will always return a fresh instance. So here I'll get method and I'll pass from method, from default method. Okay, so what happened? So sorry, why this is not working. There is no argument given. Oh sorry, it should be integer 1. And it's asking for the ilog. So again I'll pass what. Let's see how it reacts. So what happened? I'll call the get method. It will automatically creates number 1. Okay, and then it will also create the number 2, count number 2 with the default message, and then I'll call this get method 1. So it will again come to here, it will go for method 1 and method 2, and then it should be 3. So what I understand is, so here the count will be 1, count will be 2, and count will be 3, and this separate 2 will be considered. So but we are passing the same reference over here, so let's see how it behaves in this case. Clear API default and get. Okay, let's see the log. See, the method 1 is called, the method 2 is called, right? Then method 1 injection 1 is called, and method 2 injection call, Then there is again the log write work, that is 3. Okay, I think that we have processed 2 times request, so we should just click this and play. So now we have just 1 request. See, perfect that we presume. Okay, this is the +1, this is +2, and we are passing the log, but here the separate instance will be created for this because we are asking for the ILog. So method 1 will be count as 1, method 2 will be count as 2, and again we are write log. This is the log on the global level, so it is using the global, that is same instance, that is number 3. So yeah, pretty much clear now. So everything is working fine based on the based on the service lifetime that we have registered, scoped, transient and singleton, right? So let's see what else there. Property injection is not available, get service manually. Okay, this is okay, but I am not preferring this way to write a code. Okay, so if you want to access the service as on required without injecting into the constructor or into the method, so this is the way you can access it. Okay, so let's do it one simple way. So I'll just put a comment for this. Sorry, not possible comment because we have already included. Okay, one more method that I registered here. So public string new get new method name doesn't exist, doesn't need the name, integer d1 and integer d2. This is http get, and route will be get services, get services. Okay, so I'll return it nothing. Okay, so where this, okay, where context is equal to this dot http context dot, what is this, request services. Yes, it's available, request services, and then where temporary get a local log, and then context dot, sorry, okay, services, okay, context name, put a services, it's sounding nice, services dot get service, type of ILog, right? Get services type of ILog, and this needs to be, no need to cast it, or if I'm using the ILog here, then I hope so you need to cast it. Yeah, okay, so typecast need be clear. So now by using the log dot write log, we can call it log write log. Okay, let's do one more thing. Okay, so now what I'll do, okay, let's test it this first and then we'll try to one more thing. So just run this application. Why this is switching to the dash, just stick out here, man. Okay, now API slash default at get services id is equal to 10, and what is the second parameter, d1, sorry, d1 is equal to 10 and d2 is equal to 20. So I'll put a breakpoint here so you'll get the idea where this method is calling. Perfect. And then continue. And we execute it successfully. Okay. See, this fresh instance is called. Right? It is not accessing that global level log that we got here, right? Sorry, as this is the fresh request, so the new instance will be served. Now let's do one thing. I'll call, instead of this we'll go for 1,1 and then log. Sorry, log, no need for log. Will request as on required. So again, I think it's it will serve the fresh instance. It will not going to yeah, I told you it is going to serve the fresh instance. Again, let's do one thing. Sorry, I'm calling the wrong method. So we are directly calling this method, that's why it's obviously it returning the fresh. And now I'll just call my fresh method get. So if I call a fresh get method, get new method, default. Okay, now continue. So how it is? Oh, this is nice, huh? Though we are accessing this way, it's still considered as a single as a scoped, because this is accessing, this is serving the existing created instances. Okay, so again, I'm not in favor of writing this type of code. Okay, if you wanted to access, then just put it into the serviceman. Okay, doesn't need it to put that way or the way. That is the simple way to understand, and you don't need to put it like services contacts, and again you have to check the services available or not and all that kind of stuff for the validation purposes. So just remove this and go for the method injection if you want to use for the particular method, right? We have seen a lot of things in this tutorial, so I hope you guys have enjoyed programming with the Infologs team. So again, simple request to you guys, just if you like this video tutorial, just subscribe this and put your comments, suggestions, whatever it is. And if you think this video is worthy enough to share with your friends, so go ahead and share with them so they can get a benefit of it. And also try to share this video on your social media platforms. You can also follow us on social media that is available: facebook.com/infologs_in, infologs_in. You can also tweet us on the Twitter handle infologs_in, or you can also go on Reddit, that is reddit.com/infologs. Okay, so everything is available. And if you want to learn different programming language, there is a channel called Infologs, or you can go ahead and remember this word, web boostings. Okay, just go to the YouTube and search for Infologs. So you'll see the first channel that is available, and just click on there. You'll see the lot of different kind of video tutorials available, whether it's on Swift, Objective-C, PhoneGap, the latest tutorial with the practical examples with the problems. right? Nowadays on a YouTube we'll see how we can do the dependency injections, but they are not proving it, right, the way we are done here. So whatever you learn, you should go into the depth of that topic, so that way you get a clear idea how programming, backend programming is working. So on that knowledge you can put your own stuff, the best way to write the code, best way to handle the exception, best way to writing the architecture level code. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching. This is Abhishek Bedre signing off for this video tutorial. And one the important statement, that is never stop learning. Thank you for watching. Bye.